In strikingly emotional terms, the US Secretary of State came forward to make the case for intervention. Less a forensic presentation of intelligence, more a plea to the conscience of the world.
Our intelligence community has carefully reviewed and re-reviewed information regarding this attack. And I will tell you, it has done so more than mindful of the Iraq experience. We will not repeat that moment. We know where the rockets were launched from and at what time. We know where they landed and when. We know rockets came only from regime-controlled areas and went only to opposition-controlled or contested neighborhoods. Instead of being tucked safely in their beds at home, we saw rows of children lying side by side, sprawled on a hospital floor, all of them dead from Assad's gas and surrounded by parents and grandparents who had suffered the same fate. The United States government now knows that at least 1,429 Syrians were killed in this attack, including at least 426 children.
He added this was about much more than Syrian chemical weapons or Iranian nuclear ambitions.
It is about Hezbollah and North Korea and every other terrorist group or dictator that might ever again contemplate the use of weapons of mass destruction.
But the president, seen here today huddled with his top advisors in the Situation Room, must now act without his greatest ally, the British. He told reporters that temptation to look the other way was strong, but wrong.
I am very clear that the world generally is war weary. Certainly the United States it has gone through over a decade of war. The American people understandably want us to be focused on the business of rebuilding our economy here and putting people back to work. And I assure you nobody ends up being more war weary than me.
The House of Commons vote is an extraordinary setback for a special relationship, often at its strongest in crises and on the front line, a fact that President Obama has often highlighted.
We stand together and we work together and we bleed together and we build together, in good times and in bad.
Most tellingly, the British vote will not impact the decision-making here. A US punishment strike on Syria using sea-launched cruise missiles remains a near certainty. President Obama has already briefed congressional leaders on military options.
The problem that he finds himself in and has placed us in is if he does not take action now after making these statements, then we become a paper tiger to the rest of the world.
But the man who led America into Iraq would not be drawn on the wisdom of an attack on Syria, saying only this.
I was not a fan of Mr. Assad. He's an ally of Iran, and he's made mischief.
Obama! Hands off Syria!
Outside the White House, small groups of protesters have made their views known. Inside, this reluctant interventionist who ended a war in Iraq and who's withdrawing from Afghanistan is now poised to lead America back into the cauldron of the Middle East. Robert Moore, ITV News, Washington.